You guys, so welcome back to the channel. Out on the e-bikes again, heading up the Golfy. Thought in this video it'd be cool to do like a e-bike hack slash like riding tips video. So we're going to try and ride a variation of different tracks and stop at different points and like share some pointers and tips so you guys can ride better and faster. You can boost. So currently on a new bit of trail they've built because the Golfy's climbing trail, the original one, is getting a facelift. So it's just like the alternative way around at the minute. But I'll show you in a second what the climbing trail looks like. It looks like it's going to be really cool to pedal up. Oh, fog. Yeah, we had a lot of rain yesterday. It's quite a challenge on boost. The rear tyre just wants to drift everywhere. I'm going to go up here. Oh, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. Oh god. Oh, this is thick mud. Oh god. We are struggling. Oh my god, I'm wheel spinning. Oh god. Can you get track? Oh shit now. My rear tyre looks like a slick road tyre now. Well, my bike was clean this morning. Definitely not now. Climbing 101. Don't do what I just did then. Line choice is key when climbing on an e-bike. That is the first tip of this video. That is the new climbing trail. Look at the state of this. Okay, we're at the top of the first track. This is Big Bore. If you've ridden this track, you'll know that it's pretty steep. Well, it's not really steep, is it? It's slippy.
Slippery, awkward, and you can't just rely on speed to get down it because you'll get hung up on stuff like I do. If you slide, you lose your speed and you can't ride stuff. So the trick is, I think if you're not a fast rider like, say, Alex, if you're like me, the trick is to kind of learn control on it and just keep your wheels moving.
Shocks unlocked. I've got it in trail. It's quite flat at the top and it's quite slippy today because it's been raining. It is very tight and slippy. I think you've just literally got to keep the bike moving.
This is what I don't like.
You don't like this bit? So we're into the top of the woods at Big Bore, and if you've been here, as you come into the woods, you'll know that there are like a number of like little drops and tight corners that you have to navigate over. And it's more about carrying speed this bit. It's not really all about all-out speed or pedaling. It's all about carrying speed into this section so you can carry speed through it. So this is a drop, and you come down, drop, and on. So we're just working on carrying speed on a little uphill before a drop. It's like kind of a crucial bit. There's like 3 or 4 of these on the track and you have to get them right to carry speed. Otherwise you literally just come to a dead stop. Makes it a little bit easier with a motor as well because you can kind of give it a little bit of juice as you're going uphill to keep your speed. Yes. Again.
That's how slippery it is.
Yeah, nice. Linked it up, nice. Some tight corners. Almost like, oh, sorry. I was going to say like little berms, but that one's quite cool. And then open that turn a bit. Quite slippy that section.
I missed the way.
Okay, so we're on the lower half of Big Bore now. And this is where the track starts to get really churned up. And this section we've got like switchback berms. And there's an inside line here. So you can either go down here, or there's an inside line with a drop off the end there, which is where you want to be. That's the smoothest and like most efficient way to get down these two turns. So the key with this is, because it's quite slippy rocks, you want to set up before the switchbacks and get yourself, I'll show you now, you want to try and set up, try and get some of your turn on early, and then at this point here I'd be looking at trying to turn onto this line here, which you can see I'm going to be trying to go for this little slot here. So your wheel wants to go through that slot, and then that opens up that whole section. It's a little bit different riding this track and this sort of terrain on an e-bike compared to a normal mountain bike, mainly because of the weight. You could say it's a disadvantage, but you could also use it as an advantage. The heavy bike wants to grip to the floor more, but obviously on this sort of ground, the slippy rocks, you have to really position your body weight in the right place, otherwise it will slip. And obviously if you're doing braking on this slippy rock, there's a high chance that it'll slip as well. So that's why I was saying before about line choice is key, so you don't have to do as much braking, and then the tyres are going to grip where they can find the dirt. Try and get up high, and I'm looking for that slot, and then let off. Yeah. Nice. Pushing 25 kilos uphill. Go.
Where's Alex gone? Let's go over to him. Sorry, that was like a completely stupid mistake. Usually I can ride this bit. I was almost like, I'm going to show off to Alex then, and then nearly got a seat up my ass. Just ride it, not show off to Alex. Easier with the e-bike, I suppose, because you can just put a pedal in.
That trail was, I reckon that's probably one of the slippiest at the Golfie or in Leafin. There's not that much gradient to it once you get into the track, but it's really slippy because of the rocks and the roots. So the key on that track is literally to carry speed everywhere. Whether you're on an e-bike or a normal bike, that's the key. So like staying light on the bike is useful. When you're riding the e-bikes though, and you've got that weight underneath you, I always have the bike in trail mode on the motor as well, just to give me a little bit of a punch when we hit like those little climbs in the track. I find that it really helps. And because of the weight of the bike, I almost feel that helps you feel more planted as you're going down the track, I feel.
The two times that I think that the bike helped me do what I couldn't maybe have done as fast on my normal bike, learning wise, was the drop that we did. Because I struggle to sort of muscle my bike onto a different line other than the main channel. But because there's so much weight behind this, it's almost like I'm used to muscling it around, so I got onto the line I wanted, which is sometimes a problem with me.
Whoa! Oh, it's dark in here. Alright, this one's called Mini Feed the Pony. Well, it's the bottom half Feed the Pony.
Still long.
It's still pretty long. Quite pumpy, flowy. There isn't really too much on it, but you can gain a lot of speed if you know what lines to be on and stuff.
I feel like with this one you have to look ahead because the trail just vanishes into the trees.
Yeah. sharp rocks. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to see. It doesn't get ridden too much. Everything looks the same. It looks like, you know, like, can't tell what's what. Try and use the weight of the e-bike to help you. Whoa. Random sucky rocks. Oh, that's a tight one. And then a bit steep now. Nice. Yeah. So this is a really tiring track if you do it from the top. It's probably the longest trail. I'd probably say in between rally actually. I think it's about 5 or 6 minutes. Quite hard pack today, so it's quite slippy, yeah. Forearms get tired, just the whole body gets tired. Quads start to cramp because you're always pumping. Whoa. It's a good track though. Probably one of my favourites.
I love these cookies.
Let's go. Straight to boost. What a day for a ride. Pedaling up a different side of the hill now, and we're gonna go and check out some of the tracks in Leith inside. So typically like a lot of different styles of trail up there, I think, compared to Golfy, and it'd be interesting to see what it's like after the rain yesterday. So yeah, we're gonna go up there and we're gonna go and look at some completely different styles of tracks and give you guys some more tips and tricks for free bikes. Try to do a wheelie and boost. Oh yeah, mullet setup works a charm. Have you done?
Run out of battery.
That's what you get when you boost around everywhere. To be fair, you didn't start on full battery. Can you tie that to me or something?
If we just put it around your seat, I'll hold on to it.
Oh, that'll work, yeah.
Drop it.
Uplift.
2, 3, pedal. Okay. Whoa, whoa, okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Just stay in the middle of the road.
We'll get you to the top. It's hurt my forearm, like keeping the arm tense. Are you like pedaling quite hard? Amanda is in the red battery. 1 bar of battery left. Okay, top of the next track. This track is called Green Wing, top of Leithen, and it's primarily just like berms, flow trail and corners. So it's a really good track if you're up here to practice cornering and carrying speed. Not too technical. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop in on the e-bikes. Amanda's just dropped another nose ring.
Got it back.
Got it back. And we're gonna drop in and we're gonna look at some tips to carry more speed on the e-bikes. Right, let's go. Oh, God. A little bit slick. Whoa, Christ. Not the best line to begin with. It's still quite hard pack and slippy. I thought it would have been grippier. Still a little bit of grip, but it's a lot of flowy berms. Trying to look ahead. Really open compared to what we rode earlier. Line choice is key. And looking ahead out the berms. Oh, that's tight, that one. Still real slippy. Trying to link these switchbacks up. so getting my braking done before and then letting off and flowing round. Not so much bothered about pedaling, just trying to work the trail. Oh, slippy bit that. Woo! Such a fun track. Okay, so that was Green Wing. Amanda has gone now because she has no battery left. So I'm on my own now, pedaling back up, and we're on to find a different track. But when it comes to riding that sort of track we just rode then, Green Wing, with like loads of berms, and when you've got a track that's more about carrying speed than anything else, I think. When you're on an e-bike, I think, again, the weight, you can use the weight of the e-bike to your advantage. It's also a little bit different as well to a normal bike without a motor. When you are on the e-bike, I find that your braking points change a lot, which goes for any kind of trail. So braking late is a little bit harder to do. You almost have to brake a little bit earlier, I would say, and pick better lines rather than come ploughing into things and then relying on like last minute braking. That's been my experience anyway. So that track was a really good test if you're ever up here for carrying speed on berms, and yeah, just trying to open up corners as well was another one. So trying to make wider arcs around berms just so you can make the corners like less of an actual turn and more of like a bend or a straight, if that makes sense, so you can carry more speed out basically. Yeah, so we'll head back up now and we'll go and pick another trail. So this time I'm going to do a track that is pretty fast and pretty full on actually. My aim with this is to see what the bike is like and give you guys some tips on like when you're actually going really fast on these bikes, like how to control the bike better, how to think about things. Because I find, because of the weight of these bikes, again, I know I keep coming back to it, but the faster they're able to pick up speed, and if you kind of don't understand how to control the beast underneath you, it can take advantage of you and you can end up in a world of trouble. So I was thinking we get on a real fast track in Leithen, and then we can take a look at different ways in which we can keep the bike under control, getting our braking points right, and actually having a better time on the trail. Let's go. Fast bit to begin with. So, down a classic, down IXS, which is really fast. Whoa! Ah! Probably should just check the camera to make sure the lens isn't covered in mud. So that was really fast up there. I actually got offline a little bit. One thing I did notice then actually, before I carry on, I've actually set the suspension up slightly softer for today's ride and a little bit more progressive. So it's kind of soft off the top and then it ramps up quite a lot. I find that helps when you're going down a really fast chattery trail, that the bike just kind of sits in, well, it doesn't sit in, sorry, it doesn't sit in the holes, it almost sits on top of them if you get the progression right on the suspension. So we'll carry on. Christ, that was a little bit slippy. See how this bit goes. Quite a bit of traction having said that. There's a lot of sniper routes everywhere. Like ready to catch you off guard. Whoa, could have done that over there. Oh man, that was slippy. Try and open that bit up. Whoa, there was a new line down there. So yeah, that was quite a fast and full on track. Quite scary actually. Kind of wish I had a full face for it really, but just deal with it. As for the bike is always constantly wanting to go faster and faster. So I think on that stuff, it's more about the brake control than anything else. Brake control and line choice again, so I keep coming back to some of the same things because there's a lot of crossovers, but braking points on that were more key than anything. There was a few sections that I did actually mess up and was on the wrong lines and slid about a little bit, which was a bit annoying, but braking points, I find you have to do a little bit earlier on these bikes if you're trying to go faster and faster. So on the smaller bike with no motor, you can get away with coming sections faster than you usually would and brake late, harsh braking, aggressive braking really late, which is fine. On these bikes, I think it's a little bit harder to do just because you're slowing down a bigger mass of weight basically. But it does help with the conditions today. There was a lot of grip to be had in some bits, whereas some sections were kind of hard packed. It was kind of a little bit lighter on the brakes, lighter on how the body was moving, just to keep grip because it was very slippy. So that was that. We're now going to drop into another track, which is going to test the bike on steeper trails. So I haven't really ridden too much in terms of steep stuff on this, so be interesting to see what it's like. Get to the track first. Oh. So this is Deer Hunter and we're going to go down this one, I think. Oh. Probably one of the lesser ridden tracks in Leithen. It's probably steeper than it looks on camera as well. I feel like I can't ride this as fast on this bike. Oh. Tyres are trying to dig in. Oh. And I'm trying to talk and ride fast. Oh. Sorry if I'm not talking as much in this one. Whoa, that was full on. So I don't know what that was called, but it was pretty damn steep. So that was pretty savage, pretty full on. Luckily, again, this track hasn't been ridden for ages, so there's quite a lot of fresh dirt for your tyres to really dig into. It's not as hard packed as some of the other tracks that get ridden like a lot. So that was great. The thing is this though, again, because of the weight, as soon as you let off the brakes, the bloody thing is like trying to accelerate even faster down the hill. So I was trying to keep my weight biased over the back wheel or the back of the bike just to try and slow myself down almost and trying to get more traction in the tyres than I usually would on like a flatter trail, which was trying to help with the steep switchback corners. It was a very interesting way of riding actually. Brakes were under pressure, tyres under pressure, like everything on these bikes, when you're trying to push and ride harder, you can actually feel the bike like trying even harder to keep up with your requirements on the bike, if you like the more pressure you put on the bike, it's trying to work harder. The tyres are trying their hardest to dig into the ground. The chain, well, not that there was like much pedaling on there, but brake pads, everything is just like working to the max to keep the bike going. But who knows in the future if we'll have like even bigger bike rotors and e-bike specific chains and even bigger tires for this sort of stuff. But very interesting, that very interesting. I think you do have to adopt a little bit of a different style of riding on the steep tracks. Okay, and then for the last bit we're going to just pick a Leithen classic, I think. Whoa, let's have a look. Wow, that's tight. Into the steep channel. Quite a lot of grip today. Oh, flat corners. A little bit slippy. Ooh. So back from the ride now, I'm just putting together the final edits on the video and finishing it off. So yeah, that was pretty much like our ride with a lot of e-bike tips and hacks just to help people ride a little bit better and kind of like giving our insights into what the e-bikes have been like so far. So bearing in mind we've only had them now for a couple of months, so still trying to get used to them, still trying to figure out how is best to ride them, because I think it's a lot different than riding a normal mountain bike. I think anyone will agree. And if you enjoyed the video, you've got an e-bike and these insights and tips helped you out, let us know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up. It does help us share this video with more people and helps our channel grow, so that'd be unreal. Subscribe as well if you're not already subscribed, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.